All right, guys. So welcome on. Good to have you guys on. All right. Let's crack on with what we have now. I know I've been away for a while. I've been busy. If you've seen the video I recently released on this test account, you saw how well the robots performed and stuff. Now, without wasting any time, let's have a look at what we've got going on. All right. See what the price is going to be doing. All right. What I want to do is put a little bit of a little situation here for us to look at. So let me start off with the dollar index and not waste any time. Now, from the last discussions that we've had, you can see that the dollar index has actually come to the H4 order block. Now, key thing is that I want you to see here is if I drag this over here, right, the price actually took these highs right here and is stuck inside of this H4 order block. Now, if the price is actually going to load up for a short, it will need to do it soon. At the moment, there isn't that much significance in what the price is doing. The price has spiked long today, taking out all of these highs, and now it spikes low back into this demand order block. So we're kind of in a spiked range right now. Nothing that significant really I can say as of yet, but let's press over to look at actual pairs and see what's going on with those. So if I go over and just look at Euro USD, all right, Euro USD at the moment is still inside of this weekly order block here that I'm looking at to trade possibly for a long one more time. Now, if I go over to the D1 H4, okay, price hasn't been too pretty at the moment. As you can see, the spike down and up from the retail sales news and then the CPI news for Canada kind of just done like a ripsaw effect. All right, so I haven't actually stepped into these markets yet, but one thing I would say for sure is that the Australian dollar is definitely getting much more, a lot weaker as time is going on. And I can see that it's ready for a major short to come in very soon. And initially I was looking for one more long, but I don't think that the price is really strong enough to even hold it. But I would like to see how the price interacts with this low over here. This key low would let me know, what the price is going to do here. But for now, I'm just watching. All right. So again, looking at all of the pairs that we've got going on, it's very interesting to see how the price is reacting at the moment. We have the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, so I know that, of course, that's going to cause a ruckus, right? And we're going to have quite a few things going on. Pound USD, USD CHF, USD CAD. Okay, AUD CAD over here, AUD CHF, AUD JPY. All right, CAD CHF, right? Just different pairs that you can see that are just spiking around all over the place. Now, coming back to the majors, though, I kind of want to take a little more of a dive and have a look at what we have now on the weekly here with which is one time frame that I like to look at a lot. On the weekly time frame here, USD CAD has kind of held inside of this order block here that I was talking about for a long, and now right now it's coming to this supply zone, which it hasn't been in for a pretty long time here. Now, D1, on the D1, there's a clear liquidity gap and void. Now over here, this is a liquidity gap because we see that there's a gap between the open of this candle and the close of the previous one here. There's a gap right in between this area. Now, it's not the same as the normal gaps where there's literally no trading, but the open here has opened significantly lower than the close, even though we have the high here, the wick here, but we're focusing on the bodies right now. Now, to the left here, another major thing that I'm looking at is this point right here. Now, the moment the price closed above this supply order block right here and hasn't closed back beneath it, we've flipped the price from heavy supply to demand. So throughout June until as of recent, the price has been in supply. Now we're more in a situation of demand. Now, the most significant launching pad for this movement was over here. You see, we have this induction here, right? And the price also did this at a, now this, I call this a validation point. I've been calling it that since 2016. So this is a D1 validation point, but I know for some of you who are like ICT traders, for you, this would be an FVG, okay, or fair, well, yeah. Between the prices traded from this low between here, this gap was filled out. So it's kind of similar stuff that we're saying. Now, this reaction we've had here has launched the price off for a long. So my interest is watching the price continue from here. Now, the thing is, as we take a deeper dive into the price action and I shrink this up a bit, I want you guys to see what my mind is thinking here. Now, I don't know why I put more than one line. Let's take one off. Now, my thing is that even though this was a great move, right? I always like to be surgical with the price. And when you are surgical with this, if I was to draw this so that it can be a demand zone here, so let's just make this a light coral here. My thing is that this swing low is questionable right here, because when the price forms a demand order block, there's supposed to be an efficient cycle of price, right? And the efficient cycle of price is that the market should be returning back into this demand zone. So my problem is that if USD CAD is going to be bullish and continue going long, first is going to need buy side liquidity, which the best buy side liquidity in this market at the moment is sitting above the previous week's high, which the price came very close to, but chose to reverse against or away from. So I want to see if the price is actually going to take the high. And if it does take the weekly high, I would like to see it run the swing low here, because underneath this low here, we definitely are going to have a situation of liquidity void, at least from here to here, and also liquidity that we can actually run. And once the price does that, then I'll be happy to look for a continuation long. But until that point, I'm a bit iffy about it. Now, the other thing is that the price may even decide to descend lower. We have relative lows here, equal lows. So 554 and 563. So they're about 2 pips apart. So there's another, it's not a risk because it's still a trade we can take, but there's also the other side where USD CAD could actually descend down here. Now, tomorrow, of course, the news will really be a determining factor. But I would say that the higher time frame structure denotes that, or is leading to us seeing USD CAD push up for a further long, and probably at least coming back over to these highs, and even to fill this long-standing gap that is left behind at 138. Now, if that will happen in this week, I don't know, because USD CAD can be crazy sometimes. But I definitely know that the price will be wanting to do something of that sort pretty soon, right? So with that being said, USD CAD to me is on my radar. I'm not trading it yet, but I'm just watching it to see what the price is, going to achieve. Now, my next kind of look into the market is with USD CHF. USD CHF has been pretty interesting. If you go on the weekly structure, right, the price has come back to the reference point low, which is this low of 2021. Now, I always know that USD CHF is going to come back here at some point, all right? And when it does happen, it would be a wonder and an amazing trade to be in, right? So on the weekly and then on the daily here, right? On the H4, what you want to do is, if I draw this area here as supply, you can see that price didn't just spike into any random areas, formed a bull trap here, manipulation bar, spiked into here and come back the other side short. Now, seeing this manipulation bar, I'm intrigued to see whether, the market will be wanting to trap short positions over here and short liquidity and go for a short here. At the moment, the price isn't too pretty, but, there's evidence to suggest that the price may actually go for one long and a short two. Okay, at the moment, I still don't like it. I think that the price is still too wicky, but you can still navigate, around this. I just want to see a little bit more from the price throughout the day. For me, I like the 3 o'clock time. For me, the 3 o'clock time, a lot of price action happens, a lot of movements happen, and it's a good time to be an observer if you're not trading, and that's what I personally like to do. All right. Now, I'm going through the major pairs because this is the main focus for today, but we can, of course, look at other pairs too. Now, a quick one running through NZD/USD. So another one here now, again, if we look at price delivery here, this is a weekly validation point. The price left now, again, for ICT traders, this will be your fair value gap. the price left one here, pushed up for a long, and we can see the price returning to that reference point over there. Now, NZD/USD to me seems pretty bearish, even though it's leaving gaps as it goes down. But as we spoke about, now, if you remember this on the monthly, I told you about the unfulfilled efficiency, like the long-standing one. It just takes the right financial crisis cocktail to really initiate that. Now, what we've had over here, if I drag this down, is that price actually and left this low from the 2008 to 2009 crash and recovery. So there's a liquidity beneath here that there's an unfulfilled efficiency, let's say, for to start off with, that needs to be filled out. So NZD/USD pushing down this next 1,000 pips doesn't really surprise me whatsoever. And I do expect it to happen. So I am pretty much bearish on NZD/USD. It's just getting in at the right time is the question, and obviously, what to do. Now, at the moment, we have this accumulation range here. Now, seeing this accumulation on the H4 lets me know that sooner or later that a major trend direction is going to come out of this. All right, but this accumulation phase that the price is in at the moment it lets me know, and it should let you know, that we should be preparing to get into a major trend direction, because one is coming soon. Which way it's going to go, we'll be able to get further information pretty soon. But of course, looking at the price structure of going down here with the shorts, we definitely are on our way down for a sell. But seeing stuff like equal highs back at 63, it makes me think that, if the price wanted to kind of reverse a little bit further the other way, then go short, we'll see, Similar, AUD/USD is accumulating here at the low of last week. So I think I would definitely be waiting to see some more information from the price before making any, sudden moves. So this is really the view that I have in very simple terms of what I'm looking for. I've got AUD/USD 30 as well, which is actually done my move. I probably will want to get in right now in a minute, because it's coming back to where my entry I was looking for is. And it's done a pretty brilliant move. So US 30 is another one that I am expecting the price to go long. Now, I gave out a US 30 breakdown, but I'll quickly give it to you guys for you to see what's going on. So US 30 is pretty simple. There's a liquidity gap here that needs to be filled out, and it hasn't been yet. Another thing also to pay attention to is that on the higher time frames, this major reaction here that we had where the price took the high of 2021 and 2022 has given us a higher time frame break of market structure. Now, to see it a little bit better, if I go to the monthly time frame and go to the swing low, then you're going to see this break of market structure here. So I'm actually a proponent for a major US 30 short to come in, but I want to see the price take that equal high first. And then after, I'm ready to go for a short. And when it does that, I'm looking for a short at least to this range here. And for those of you who've been watching me for a while now, you know that the range here that we're looking for is at the equilibrium point. So in essence, the market will come back to fair market value by doing this. All right. Now, on the weekly, nothing significant has happened, in the sense that the highs between even the monthly highs right here, they're relatively equal, but there's no induction between them. So really, this movement I'm looking at with USD 30 might end up just being the move to give us the entry to go for the long that I'm looking for. So I'm actually watching US 30 with a pinch of salt right now. I'm not jumping in just as of yet, but I am watching it to see if it can produce me what I want it to produce me, and then I'm going to be in for a short. Okay, but right now it's pulled back pretty dramatically, which is anyway what I want to see. But I'll be watching with a pinch of salt again to see what it actually does when it gets into the area that I'm looking for. All right. Now, hopefully it goes exactly where I'm looking for, and it sets if it runs my alarm or it rings my alarm, then I know that I'm in the money. If it doesn't, then of course, then we just have to call it quits. Okay. But I want to see what the price is going to do when it gets to my preferred target. Okay. That's all I'm waiting for with the US 30. Okay. So we'll see what the market has to offer pretty soon. But we want to obviously try our best to capture the moves as they're coming along. Other pairs that I am looking at, that I'm interested in, Let's see. Not that many really, to be fair. Now, do you guys have any suggestions for me? Because I didn't want to keep this session to be too long, but I just wanted to kind of come back and let you know I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere at all. I'm just being very busy, but I'm still trading, still here, still focused, still, doing my thing. So we'll see what happens anyway with the rest of pairs. Now, if you have any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going straight to gold. In fact, I'll go to gold, but if you guys have suggestions, you can throw it out there and let me have a look. But now the liquidity gap for gold is closing in, and there's only one D1 order block that's holding gold from basically crashing down. And this is what I'm watching for. Right now, gold is at the edge of this demand zone, and this is really the key that I want to leave with you guys today. So if I draw this out, I'm going to draw red. To see what we got going on. Now, my thing is if the price closes beneath this demand zone today, everybody should be looking to go short on gold, everyone. Okay, I don't care who you are, we should all be looking for a short. But for that to happen, again, we need to make sure that the body of the candle closes beneath it. Now, gold is really dancing around this low, really strategically. So this is going to be the key that you want to do. This is the key that you want to do. Make sure that the price is, watching beneath the low, and we can make some very good trades out of this if the price actually pushes down for a short, because there's a liquidity gap 325 pips directly down. Okay. So be prepared, guys. This is one of the major plays that I'm looking for. I can't really do too much of an analysis because I need to see how the day is going to close. And look, if you look at the candles here and the way the price is behaving, you can see that the market is up to something. This is algorithmic price action at its finest. We have a purposefully created strong trend line. The price keeps wicking beneath here, but it's not able to close beneath this area because this is reaching a critical point. If it does break beneath, guys, then we're going to have a landfall of a movement. But I'm not going to trade anything until I see what the price is going to do. Now, I can give this though. I mean, looking at this here, we have a validation point fair value gap over here, just above some equal highs. So what gold is probably capable of doing is that it's possible that the price can actually do something like this and then descend for a short, which is why I'm not budging anywhere yet. Until I see that daily close, I'm not doing anything. But once we do see it, we should be looking for one hell of a move. Okay, to say the least. All right. So let's see what offer us, as we go throughout the day. This is kind of like my strategy, my structure of what to look for when I'm looking for trades. Just setting up. Now, my real focus is gold. That's my favorite pair right now, and the US 30. But again, it's all down to kind of like having a structure set up so that we can actually, make moves and make trades. Okay, so let's see what happens over here as time goes on. I think it will be pretty good to see. Now, with most of the other cross pairs, I'm not interested. My same focus is Japanese yen pairs, all types and all forms and shapes and sizes of Japanese yen pairs. So any of these, AUD, JPY, gold, and major pairs, that's what I'm really looking at. Okay. And whatever comes from those, that's what I'm going to be really looking at. Now, other pairs like, pound CAD, for example, has done a brilliant move long today. Okay, but I wasn't involved in that because I wasn't looking at it. But it doesn't bother me anyway. But just in case you're wondering, because I'm looking at pound CAD, I've been interested in it here and there. Pound CAD took the low of the previous week, right? And WGA students, you know what type of structure this is. All right, this type 1 movement here. And you can see that the market actually gave us a bear trap here. This is a different style of trade entry, but still a pretty cool one. And what the market did over here, instead of doing the entry over here, RTO, it came just above this fair value gap over here on the H1, and now it's pushed for a long. Now, my thing is that this is a great movement, but, and this is a big but, we might actually be able to get in ourselves, because if you look at the lows or the structure of the lows, we have triple equal lows basically right here. And then we have the order block that originated the move, the H1 version of this right over here. So what we could actually do with pound CAD, and I'm going to put this over here in another color. If we're going to do this on pound CAD, what we should be doing is, now we have a break of market structure. Every single high to the left has been taken. So all the buy stop liquidity has been run. So all these buys here have been offloaded, and we should be looking for some sells. Now, how the sell will trigger, there's many different ways, but what we can actually do is we can look for this pullback over here. Now, I think I've just given myself a signal without realizing, and I think I'm going to post this later on in detail to my academy students. And now you guys have it, you can also jump in there to have a look at what the price is doing. Providing that pound CAD does that, stop loss will be beneath the low here, so you can go for 20 pip stop loss. And the target, now why am I so big on this trade? Well, looking at the highs over here, pound CAD, when it fell or it dropped, whichever one you want to say, the only reason why it dropped here is because the price entered into the key weekly supply zone of that year, 2022, right? Now, what I'm looking for is at least a movement back up to this area, but I know the price will take the high. So this is actually a 300 pip move for a 20 pip stop loss. Again, my only downside to this trade is that when I look at this order block here, when the price wicked in to take this low, it didn't enter into this order block. So I'm a bit suspicious that the price might doubly stop hunt or take the low again and then take off for a long. All right, but this is a great signal. I'll wait and see. I'm going to keep an alarm somewhere here to hear what the price does, and I know what to do about it. But yeah, that's another good trade over there by accident, really. All right. So for me, again, I'm just really marking up things that I like or I like the setup for, and then I'm leaving it like that. I do have my core pairs, don't get me wrong. I don't look at everything every day. My focus really is gold and major pairs. And if they don't really provide anything, then of course I move on to other stuff. Okay. But yeah, ideally, this is really what my my setup looks like on a daily basis. All right, now UK 100 and the rest, they're dropping like crazy. I'm interested to see what they're going to demonstrate, but I definitely know that the UK 100 is definitely going to be giving us a big short. And other major pairs. Now let's see the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, similar situation. I think all of these pairs are behaving pretty similar. The Nasdaq is pretty similar to the US 30 because it's taken the low of the previous week, but it just did it a bit sooner. And what now we have is a situation where there's an order block here that the price went into and took off for a long. When it did that, that was kind of already we had a break of market structure here. Okay. This is the last swing high before the price took the low. So we have a break of market structure over here. And then the price took the opportunity to go for higher highs and take this structure here. So now I'm actually looking for, if this was going to be a trade, I would take this second order block here. You know, you can see that the Nasdaq and the US 30 have this similar strong wick where it's pulled back down. I would look for the price to actually come back down here and go for a long and take off, because they all have the same liquidity gap over here to the left, right? If I go to the monthly time frame, there is a little bit of a difference between the US 30 and the Nasdaq. But if I was to go from the same swing from 2020 right here, and we follow the price action, the market still dropped into discount and then after went into premium. But my problem is that it didn't actually use any of this order book. So it's left pretty much, I mean, even if we were to just go by fair value gaps, the price actually completely missed this one by a shot, a long shot, and didn't come back. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. Also, we have these relative equal lows at the beginning of 2023. So I'm suspecting that we are going to have a short from that standpoint too. So from that, let's see what actually happens, you know, moving forward from there. Okay, so this is why US 30, I'm watching it with a pinch of salt, and so am I watching the Nasdaq. Okay, because they're both moving the same. Right now, for me, how I'm doing this, and this is how I trade sometimes, if the Nasdaq gets into this order block and the US 30 gets into the entry point I want, then I'll take the trade. If it's not going to do that, then I'm leaving it alone. All right. So that's really it from me, guys. Any pairs you see or any trades you see, you can always comment. But at the moment, the market is looking good, but I'm not going to touch anything until further notice. Okay. And again, watch gold area, guys. Today is an important day. If the body of the candle does close beneath here tomorrow or by today, end of today, then listen, we're gonna have a landslide down. We're gonna have a great ride down, which means the dollar would gain strength for that to happen. So catch you guys later on, everybody.